Richard, what am I doing with 27? First step. Not sure? Cat? What am I doing with 27?
With what?
27. Not sure? Everybody on the block gets a paper. 4 times 2, which is?
8.
8. And then what? Over here. Who have their hands up? Rebecca?
Carlos.
What do I do next?
Bring it down. 4x. Well, 8 subtract 4x.
4x. Good. This has to go. Everybody on the block has to get the paper.
How do you say that? Greater than or equal to?
Less than.
Oh, greater.
Now remember this, if you see this, you should be able to spell less. Then you know it's less than.
So
If you can't spell less, oops, sorry. If you can't spell less, then it's greater than.
Greater than or less or equal to?
So this one is less than or equal to.
So 8 subtract 4x is
Less than or equal to?
less than or equal to 5x subtract 10.
Okay, this is the biggest mistake students make, is they do not give everyone on the block the paper. Okay? We got to be listening. Your phones, great that you're hiding them from me. It's great that that you think you don't have to listen. But when I'm asking you to do it, then you should just be able to tell me. And then you're right, you don't have to listen. But when you got to turn down your music, or you got to take out your earbuds to hear me, and then you don't know what to do, not only is that disrespectful to me, you're disrespecting yourself. You're not even giving yourself a chance. You've got to give yourself a chance. Right? So what's next, Skylar? Okay. Well, if I have variables on both sides, that's a transition. Do you remember what transition we got to do? Who said that? In here? Okay.
You
What?
gotta move the lowest variable.
Move the lowest variable. So, which one's lower? -4 or 5?
-4.
-4. Now remember, I said -4 or 5. Notice this is -4. What would be lower, 4 or -5?
-5.
Right? So you got to be careful, because they're going to trick you like that on the test. I guarantee you, because I write it. Okay? You got to be ready. Move the lowest one. How do I move -4? Plus 4. Right? Always the opposite. Right? It's a big difference than -4, right? Because then you would come up. Now, I've seen this a lot on that test last week. A lot of us in here were doing the wrong thing. We were subtracting when we should have been adding. Okay? You're doing the steps. You're just getting a little bit confused on them. Okay? So, we just got to clean it up. That's it. More practice. That's it. Alright? So, I got 8 is less than or equal to 9x minus 10. Because this just comes down. This just comes down. Alright? And now it's SAT MEP again, right? Subtraction and addition. So what do I'm trying to get the variable alone.
Plus 10.
Plus 10. So I get 18 is less than or equal to 9x. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to move, because I ran out of space here, I'm going to move this over here and go 18 is less than or equal to 9x. So now I can continue working. make sense?
Yeah.
Okay? And then what? I got to do the opposite, right, Kat? So what's the opposite of what's happening to the x? Divide. That's it. Right? So I got 2. It's less than or equal to x. But here's the problem. The x isn't on the left. So I gotta twist it around so that the x is over here. But this sign's still going to point at the 2. So I'm going to keep it pointing at the 2. Does that make sense? I got to keep it pointing in the same direction that it's pointing at. The reason I move it is so that the x is on the left. Okay? And then I don't normally, 99% of the time, I don't have to worry about whether I divide by a negative number and have to flip the sign. Right here, I flip the sign because I want to, not because I have to. See the difference?
Yeah.
Okay? So then I make my bar every single time. I don't care about putting 3 in there. I mean, on the test, you're going to have to fill in, not on my test, but on the EOC, you're going to have to fill in the other ones. Right? Not for me. As long as I know, you know what goes here is the 2. Right? As long as I know that you see this is a line, so you see that this is a solid. As long as I know that that means this arrow goes that way, so you know it goes this way. I'm pretty sure you know that 3 comes after 2, and you know that 1 comes before it, right? So why do I have to worry about you putting those in? I don't. What I have to worry about you putting in is this. So the 1 and the 3 part, put it in if you feel more comfortable. Know how to do it, right? Because homework isn't about me. It's about you. It's about doing everything you need so that you know how to do it. If you're doing homework for me, stop. If you're doing homework for your parents, stop. Because if it ain't about you, it's just like all the other drug addicts out there. They can't get off of it if it ain't about them. They want to stop because they got a baby boy, they got a baby, or their girlfriend, or their wife, or their parents, or their this. Good luck. Because if you don't want to stop, you ain't going to stop. If you don't want to do your work, you ain't going to do your work, at least with the care that it takes to understand the material. You can do your work, copy it down, look at someone else, big deal. But if you don't want it, then you're not going to get it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You have to want it. And it's just like stepping on that field or stepping up to bat or getting on the mat. If you don't want it, you're going to get your butt handed to you. Because the other person, guaranteed, is going to want it more than you. Next one. So let's try this out, Skylar. Let's try this out, Skylar, then. What do I do first? Yeah, give everybody on the block the paper, but good. I hear you. I understand what you're saying. The reason I say it like that, it's called distribution, right? We can distribute, right? We can remember that word, which is good, right? Distribution. But that's what distributing papers is like, right? So I'm giving everyone on the block, this is your block, the paper. This is the paper. And so 9 times W is 9W. And 9 times 2 is 18. And then this just comes down. All right. Now what?
Subtract, or get it, or minus 9W.
Subtract 9W because that's the lowest.
Good. You both are on it. Right? Move the lowest variable. Now, how many are noticing that we're hearing the same people every time? Right? And I love it because I know that they're interested. I know that they want it. I also notice that the ones I'm hearing are the ones who scored very well on the test. Now you think that the ones I'm hearing are the only ones who scored well? Or that everyone I'm hearing are all scored well? And that's not true. Some of the ones I'm hearing tell me what to do didn't do too hot on the test. And then some of the ones in here who aren't saying anything did pretty good. But I need everyone's attention. Everyone trying. So somebody knew. What am I going to do next?
Divide by 3.
Okay? So notice I'm running out of space again, right? So before I do this, I'm just going to move it up and go 18 less than equal to 3W. And then I'm going to divide by 3. And so I get 6 is less than or equal to W. Now how am I going to graph that if the variable, I'm going to switch it. If the variable's not on the left, then I got to switch it, right? Okay, the left.
Wait, why?
Left, right.
I don't get that part. Why?
Now, I don't have to switch it, but this arrow is not, it's telling me the opposite direction of where to go. If I switch this so that the W is on the left and the 6 is on the right, and then this points at the 6, right? So it still points at the 6. Now the arrow is showing the direction of how to graph it. And that's why we do that. Okay? We make this graph, and then we put in this 6. And then because there's a line here, I'm going to put a solid mark, right? And then now I know it goes this direction, not that direction. See what I'm saying? And that's why. That's the only reason why I have you switch it. Now in a lot of books, they teach you to just always move the variable to the left. Okay, that's how I was taught when I was young. And then if you divide by negative, you flip the sign. Okay? And that's just how you teach it. And they go, well, why do you flip the sign? And the teacher would say, because I said so. Kind of like my dad. You know, why do I got to chop the wood? Because I said so. Why do I have to clean the toilets? Because I said so. Right? Just no real reason, except if I don't, I get a warm butt all of a sudden. I don't know what that came from, except for the fact that he had his belt off and it was smacking me. Right? So, the same thing, when we were young, they were talking, because I said so. I don't like to do that. The reason, I always give good, valid reasons for why we're doing things. The reason we turn these around is so I can see which way the arrow is pointing me to go. That's all. You don't have to. If you know that this is on this side, you can read it, right? 6 is less than W. So 6 is less than W. That means W's got to be bigger. So if W is going this way. You can read it and figure it out yourself. You don't have to do it. But it's a nice little tool to make it easier. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Now 31. How am I going to do 31? That's a tough one. It's fractions. Who likes fractions? We all love it, right? No. Not even the ones who did great on it like the fractions. Right? So, how do we get rid of the fractions?
Times.
Yes. We're going to multiply it by the common denominator. What's the common denominator?
2.
2 and 3. A number that 2 and 3 go into. What number does 2 and 3 go into? 6. So I want to multiply everything by 6. Okay? So what's 6 times 1?
6.
What's 6 times 2?
12.
What's 6 times 1?
106.
Okay? Now, I reduce it. How many times is 2 going to 6?
3.
How many times is 3 going to 12?
4.
And how many times is 3 going to 6?
2.
Okay? Now I'm going to bring this up and go 3r plus 4 greater than or equal to 2r. Okay? And now we're right back to where we always are. Move the lowest r. What's the lowest r? 2. Minus 2r minus 2r. Okay, this puts a 0 because there's nothing left, so I have to have that 0 there. Okay? Then what? What do I do with the 4?
Subtract.
So r is greater than negative 4. So how do I draw that? What goes right here? What goes right here?
4. Or
Close.
Negative 4.
Negative 4. Alright, is it open or closed? Oops. Hey, look, I started with a line
Yeah.
and then I got lazy, didn't I?
Closed.
These all have lines. Okay? I got lazy. Okay? God, really lazy now. I'm just not. There we go. Alright, so it's closed because there's a line. And it goes this direction because it's telling me. Okay? It's telling me that way, so I go that way. You know? So it's like in football. You're back here, and the ball goes that way. You're going to go that way, right? I mean, it's as simple. It's telling me where to go, so I follow it. All right? That's it.